All right. Next, I actually want to address the GitHub Marketplace feature. We've been talking about GitHub Actions because it's a bit unique to GitHub compared to GitLab, for example. So most people love public actions. We know that because that's just so easy to use versus reinventing the wheel. But there's zero guarantee, not even from GitHub, that these actions are safe because anybody can write one and publish it, right? So my question is, how do we make sure they're safe or legit? Or is there even a way to scan them?
It's funny. There's some reasonable blogs out there, and I even think there's some content in the GitHub docs itself that's talking about GitHub Actions. And actually, if you're intending to use an action, treat the action as part of your application. And the same level of sanitation that you would use for dependencies in terms of, well, now people are using cosign and making sure that the artifacts are what they originally say they were.
Yeah.
People should be signing actions because it is just an artifact that is being downloaded. It's stored in a particular directory on the runner long before the workflow runs. And there should be a way of verifying that this is the action we expect it to be. For one, that doesn't mean it's not malicious.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's not typo squatting on an existing famous action and you mistakenly downloaded the bad one, like just yet another attack vector.
It's very common.
That is possible. So you get, well, I guess that's called dependency confusion. So if you create lookalikes, tons of those in PyPy. So no, you don't know that it's secure. And I think we're really immature at the moment.
Yeah. And sometimes you see that tick. GitHub would tell you, okay, they're certified. But like, what does that certify mean?
It doesn't mean anything. I mean, one of the companies, which is in my presentation, so I'm going to not necessarily naming and shaming because anybody could fall victim to this sort of thing.
Yeah.
That had a GitHub action was Veracode. They're a security company.
Yeah.
And they had a ticked action that was attackable from 2 actions up in our research. And they were like, oh, thanks. Like they didn't know that there was an action that their approved action tick box secure.
Yeah.
But it used an action that wasn't. So how do we know that?
Yeah, it's sick. Well, what people usually think is that there's either a safe or a malicious action. But there is also something in the middle, which is like a misconfigured action. Like the guy who wrote the action didn't want to be a hacker or attack or exploit anything. It's just that while creating his action, he was not super careful. So it's not really his fault. But in the meantime, it's up to you. If you use it, you got to make sure.
Absolutely for sure. And I actually can't remember if this was your article that said it or another one I read very similar time was talking about how one of the most popular Docker related actions asks you for your Docker credentials. Like, and you just go, oh yeah, I do want to push that to I trust you. I mean, I do want to push that. So I'm going to pull my Docker credentials out as secrets and I'm going to use those in this action. And there's nothing to say that this action isn't sending all of those Docker credentials to a single
endpoint.
Yeah, to a single repository and just collecting them all.
Yeah.
And that's not a GitHub action. That is a independently maintained action. But when you think about what you're trusting it with, you're like, wait.
Okay.